Against this community. This is my community. This is my community. This is my community.
Where have you been?
I don't agree with the protest.
Where have you been?
I don't agree with the protest.
Where have you
I don't agree
been?
with the protest.
No, so what?
Against this community. This is my community.
But there's safeguarding issues in your own ward. In your own ward, children are stabbing each other. Teachers are protesting. Where are you, Jessica? Where are you, Jessica? Where are you, Jessica? Honourable adult, where is your MP? Huh? Left you on the streets. Where is your MP? Have you ever seen this woman? She's going to other schools and saying today. Yeah, she's saying that the constituents in this area only care about their bins. There are no vulnerable adults. There is no crime. There is no constituency issues. Yeah, she's saying people like you do not exist because she likes £100,000 a year. And I'd like to point out to Jessica Phillip, this is one of your constituents sleeping on the streets. You talk about safeguarding, you talk about they only care about bins. No, they don't only care about bins. There are many issues in your constituency and the voters will come out against you. And I'd like to say, Jeremy Corbyn, you need to deal with these type of politicians who are career politicians who are only there to destroy Labour heartlands across this country. They are planning a coup against Jeremy Corbyn to deselect Jeremy Corbyn. But we love Jeremy Corbyn and we will stand up for Jeremy Corbyn until we get rid of these career politicians who want to cause divide and are divisive to communities across. If you're watching this, Jessica, this is your ward, Jessica. These are the people you need to help, Jessica. You said these people only need help with bins, Jessica. Look at this. This is your ward, Jessica. This is your ward. Once you have them high-flying dinners, people are suffering in your ward. Suffering in your ward, Jessica.
There's kids stuck in the fucking system that are being probably, maybe being abused. I hope fucking not. It's not coming to it. Kids want feeding, they want loving, and they want a fucking home. That's about it. Kids do not know. So be it. Bring them up how you want, right, and teach them love and whatever, and God is love, whatever religion, but homosexuality is an abuse.
But homosexuality in religion.
I don't believe in it. That should be left to a parent.
Exactly, that's what we're talking
Thank you very much. That should be left to a parent to bring their kids up how they feel to. That's it.
That's what they're campaigning for.
And when a child gets to a certain age, they'll get that belief themselves. That's up to them. Exactly. But there's billions of kids that just want a loving home, food and water, and not to be fucking used and abused.
كالريح قوية شبت كالنار وضية هبت كالريح قوية شبت كالنار وضية
سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية
أهلا قافلتي شبت كالنار وضية هبت كالريح قوية شبت كالنار وضية
سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر.
So what is today about?
Well, I think as you know, we're in Jess Phillips' constituency. It confronts directly our traditional way of life, heteronormative way of life, and they're hiding behind the Equality Act to do it. I mean, that's just that is quite simply a betrayal of the trust that parents put in teachers and in schools.
Homophobic? Are you homophobic?
That makes us homophobic. Well, look, if someone disagrees with me and on Islam, I wouldn't call them Islamophobic just because they disagree with me. You know, we have never incited any violence or hatred towards any gay or lesbian individual. So I just simply cannot understand why that accusation comes about. It's a distraction, it's a deliberate way to just denigrate the campaign. What this is doing is when you're in a conservative family, you will have certain boundaries, shall we say, as far as sexuality is concerned. And this is deliberately breaking down those boundaries. Yeah, and that is simply not acceptable. The state has no right to do that. It's the parents that decide what those family values are, not the state. And that's the same for any community in Britain. In a couple of decades, there's an increasing tolerance towards gay and lesbian individuals. children who haven't even reached puberty yet, they know very little about sexuality. So in primary school children, that's hardly a problem. What is more of an issue is to teach them how to be good human beings and how to treat
هبت كالريح الريح الريح قوية جبت كالنار مضية
سارت بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية
بالعزم فتية طارت كالصقر أبية أهلا قافلتي.
I mean, Jess Phillips has acted completely irresponsibly, and she's failed to represent the views of her constituents, and in fact she's failed to understand her constituents, never mind represent them. And all she's doing is pampering to the LGBT lobby. And her job as an MP in this constituency, and reason why people voted her in were to represent their concerns. And she's failed utterly to represent those concerns, and she's happy to support a lobby that wants to sexualize our children, and basically destroy the traditional family as we know it.
We know from the school around the corner that there's a huge amount of issues, and RSE is just going to add to that issue. So parents are already not happy with the educational standards. So why are they not talking about educational standards? You know what I mean? There's a lot of teachers who are not happy with the educational standards in that school around the corner. The teachers and the management are not engaging. Ofsted's turned up. What does that say for the RSE education in that school? There's a loss of control. And how will this loss of control be managed? It's not about LGBT at all, it's about the sexualization. So people who are against sex education for children are now against this extra bit of sexualization. And the same way that if my child tomorrow decides to play Call of Duty, the school will call me and say that Call of Duty is for 18-year-olds, and my son will be influenced by that violence. Well, if a video game can influence a child, then so can sexualization.
Can I stop you there? The school, primary school education.
This argument's going to get bigger. We're pushing for people to go into alternative education across every city in this country, and as you know, for 5-6-year-old it costs between £500 to £1,000 a day. So one child could cost something like £200,000 a year. 10 kids, you're talking £2 million. 20 kids, you're talking £4 million. Birmingham City Council is either going to have to go bankrupt or go to central government and find this money, because as these kids go into alternative provision or get teachers provided at their homes under the Education Act. The Education Act is law. Every child must get education. So I'd just like to know from Jessica and all these councillors, where are you going to find this money? And where's the government going to find this money? Because if it's only a couple of hundred kids in every city across this country, that's hundreds of millions of pounds you've got to find, because education is the law. And parents believe there are safeguarding issues, lack of consultation, lack of engagement, and that goes against educational standards. So they've got every right to withdraw their children and ask the local authority, please put them into alternative provision. Open so that parents who wish to withdraw can withdraw, and then it's not actually that much of a big deal. We've grown up in this country, and I can tell you now, when I was at school they showed us a film about childbirth. I went home, I didn't eat for 2 days. My parents said to me, what's up? I couldn't tell my parents what I'd seen because I didn't understand what I saw. It was like Alien versus Predator. It was something. I've had 3 kids. I've never looked down when my wife was giving kid because I nearly fainted twice. Why would you show that to kids? And I'm still devastated by it now. Now, imagine generations forward, the trauma, emotional trauma, who's going to deal with all of that? There will be kids who will not be able to take that. They're telling kids about FGM, and obviously it's wrong, but there's a method to do it. And it's a very delicate issue, and some kids will take it nice and easily, but
so, just to be clear, you don't have an issue with children being taught
It does,
about.
because if you're from the LGBT community, whatever you do in your house is your personal business. Whatever I do in my house is my personal business. If some father makes love to his pillow, does he need to walk into school with a pillow next to him and say, this is the sexual orientation I am? It does not matter what you do at home.
But by not talking about it, are we not pushing people back into the closet?
Well, unfortunately, nobody's in the closet. They're all still deal. Get over it, as people say to me as well. Whatever you do in your house, hey ho, do it. I ain't got a problem with it. I've never had any hate hate towards any LGBT person. It hasn't happened in any disadvantaged city area where people have attacked or done anything, or any type of hatred to any LGBT community member. It's just about the promotion of more sexuality. So let's instead of name calling us and all of that, let's stick to the core topic. It's about sexualization.
You keep saying sexualization, but are you confident education is going to be compulsory from next September?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen then?
I think a lot of parents are going to have to withdraw their children. It's going to be a very sad day. There's a lot of parents that I've spoken to nationally who are on about leaving this country, and that will be so sad. As people of Britain who love Britain, it's sad to see British people thinking about leaving, especially the Charity Jewish community. They're such a tiny community, and they're saying they will leave this country and go to Israel. And really, my heart comes out, and I'm pleading with the government, with the schools, with the councillors and the city council. Let's have dialogue, let's talk. Please don't have their way or the highway. We can work our way through this. Let's not have people, British people, who have fought for this country, who have stood up for this country, who have paid taxes in this country. Let's have engagement, and let's not do this.
Today we are in Jess Phillips's area. Jess Phillips was quick to pounce on parents and quick to say that parents are wrong for voicing their concerns about not having consultations in regards to LGBT lessons being provided to the children. These MPs and councillors are far out of touch from the communities they serve. They are very comfortable. I have asked numerous amounts of people on this road, do you even know who Jess Phillips is? They don't even know who she is. This shows you the simple fact that our representatives are far out of touch in the community. I have a message to all parents. You must stand up. You must wake up. I have a message to the government that this issue will only become worse. This issue, as we lead up to 2020, will become more heightened, and parents will have more concerns because we see our community, we sit with our community, we eat with our community, we do everything with our community. We know what they want and what they don't want, and this is a slow uprising, and we have not reached the peak to this situation. So we urge the DFE, we urge the government to intervene in regards to this and to make sure that parents' rights and parents' rights to their children's education are not encroached or trampled on. The simple fact that we understand that we have a multicultural society here in the United Kingdom, and we accept children must be taught about diverse societies, but the school must not teach these children about diverse societies in a way which encroaches on our religious beliefs. The school must not use the sentence we are stamping out discrimination of homophobia by infringing on our religious beliefs. Parents will not accept it, community members will not accept it, and we as a total community, we are united, and we will not accept being pushed to one side. Thank you very much. Next, this brother, what's your name, brother?
Hazrat.
Hazrat, thank you very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So as we're saying, and as you've said as well, do you have confidence in this woman?
No.
Has she ever served your community here in Hay Mills?
No, she hasn't, no.
She hasn't?
No.
You said before that you haven't really voted.
Yeah.
Do you think on the next election, to make a point, you will vote against her just to teach her a lesson?
Yes, I would, yeah.
Thank you very much. This is brother. Do you want to say anything else to the camera?
That's all I could say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jess Phillips, vote of no confidence. You do not serve the community that you so say you represent.